Points, had 5 rebounds, also chipped in an assist as well against Southern Falls, 70-60 to the Bradley Braves. And Davion, ultimately that's what matters, and that's what's most frustrating for you guys of not getting over the hump. What ultimately did you feel was the difference in those final possessions? You guys get all the way back to make it 63-60. Just some key shots that Bradley made there late.
Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's just discipline. Don't make the same mistakes that you've been making, kind of all game. At the end of the game, it's mistake kind of for mistake. And I think, we just make more of those at the end of the game. I feel like we lose a little focus as a team. So, I mean, coaches calling certain things and, we're not really locked in on the calls or, switching when we're not supposed to. And, that's what it kind of comes down to.
I don't know how much you could speak of. I can't remember exactly where you were on the floor, and I don't think you were involved in it, but Hubert's got that wide open 3 with about 1:50 to make it 66-60. Can you take us through that defensive possession of what happened from your vantage point? Was it a bad switch, miscommunication?
No, I mean, at the time, we were in a certain call. I really just remember, I think we called it Diamond. That was just our scout on them. For their play, I think that's what we called. I think it was just Drew had took a bad route for whatever reason. I think he kind of saw him, come towards my direction, and I think Drew tried to shoot the gap on my guy, and he went the whole opposite. So me and Drew kind of got locked up a little bit, and I mean, next thing you know, he's on the opposite side of us, and I mean, he had a wide open shot. So I think it was just, Drew kind of turned his head on that one. And didn't see kind of really where he was going, and he tried to shoot the gap when, Hubers was on the totally opposite side.
Davion, I just marvel at your game, and I mean that just from a year ago to see where you were back when we were in South Dakota to where you are right now, getting near senior day. Frankly, it's kind of getting that close. Just your growth. Where have you seen yourself grow in 2 years, being a Saluki?
Mentally, I think for the biggest thing for me was just mentally, just staying true to myself and just knowing, every day, what it has to be. Just having the humility of, knowing what the team needs. I'm not going to be the guy, taking all the shots. I'm not going to be the guy, that we kind of go to, when we need a bucket. But I am the guy, who does everything else on the floor. And that's where I take, pride in knowing that I have to go get the boards. I have to dive on the floor. I have to go get, that 50-50 ball. And that's just where I stand out, and I feel like, that's just what I have to do.
When I was an assistant here, I learned a lot about defense, especially under guys like Sam Weaver, Bruce Weber, Matt Painter, and so forth, and keeping your feet apart, guarding the ball. You're the best on the team at it. Is that something that has just been a habit you've had, or is it something you really concentrate on every possession?
No, I definitely come from a defensive background. I think, defense is just a mindset at the end of the day. You kind of want to have to do it. I know, defense is what keeps me on the floor. And I have to take pride in that and own it that, this is what I have to do to stay on the floor. Yeah.
It's something Luke brought up in our last podcast. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it, but it's worth your while to listen to it. Just there's so much data out there in terms of, what guys do with what guys and so forth. And Luke will talk about the 5 best, most efficient players at a time, and this is no criticism of anything. It's just, it's not by coincidence that when you're on the floor with another group of 4 guys, you guys are scoring at a high rate and you're defending at a low rate, and it's beautiful to see, and it's not surprising because we watch every game. On the offensive end, going into a game like today, you watch film. It's a short week, short preparation, but you know what to expect with Bradley. Where did you see yourself helping this team from an offense efficiency ability, being able to score the ball? Because our top 7 are playing at a really good pace. Even though this game didn't turn out the way it did, we only did one thing poorly today, and that's not shoot threes. Yeah. So for you, how did you score the ball coming in this game knowing where I can get Bradley in a certain spot?
Just using my IQ, I know that, there's going to be certain guys that they're going to, try to go after, certain guys that they might double, a lot of guys that they might help in off of. So just being able to cut, kind of backdoor run in transition. Honestly, scoring in zone, I'm very, very comfortable, catching the ball and turning around. I don't really get hesitant in zone. That's just something I've grown into over the years. So, I mean, when they go zone, it's like almost any team that kind of goes zone, I kind of smile because I know, where my spots are, and I know, how to break down the zone. But, I mean, just knowing, kind of their defense and how they're going to play and just going against their principles, I feel like, it's just the best thing for me to do.
How impressed were you with Jonovich today? He really protected the rim well.
He did. He's definitely a big guy. We were on the free throw line. I was like, bro, are you really 7 foot? And he was like, yeah. I was like, dang. Like, because, I mean, he was tall, and I went up on him, and I thought I had him. But, yeah, I mean, he's still 7 foot. So, no, he definitely blocked my shot. So.
No doubt. He had 3 of them tonight. Corey Thomas had 5 as well. 8 blocks for Bradley in this game. Kind of flipping it back to your team, Davion. I mean, Calron, phenomenal effort, 26 points. Well, it was big for both of you guys. You guys were combined 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Look, the threes weren't falling. We know that, but how important it was to knock down your free throws because that gave you guys at least an opportunity to stay around in this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. I mean, I know Q is always working on his free throws. I mean, he's trying to go 20 for 20 almost every time he shoots a free throw or he's practicing. And just me, I mean, it's a big emphasis. I mean, I feel like, being able to drive and, I mean, I'm going to get fouled. So, just being able to step up and knock those down, and, I mean, at any point of the game, it's just something, I've worked on, I'm mentally prepared to do.
Don't think it's by accident when, again, you look at plus-minus in this game. The only Saluki who had a positive plus-minus was Jaheim Weber. Jaheim maybe didn't add a ton offensively, but he had 4 rebounds in the game, 2 offensive, 2 defensive, but it was really his defense, Davion, that spoke volumes today. You can't watch him at all times, especially when you're out there on the floor with him. But how much has he grown, and how big of a role can he play for this team here down the stretch?
I've told Jaheim might be my favorite player on the team. I'm always telling Jaheim I'm rooting for him. I'm always telling Jaheim, a lot of things behind closed doors. I mean, I love that guy to death. He's my guy. I think he can be great. I've told him since day one, even since last year, even when he redshirted, that, you're my guy and I believe in you. That's just somebody that I believe in. That's someone that, I can see that, is going to be great for this team, especially in the future. So just, I told him, like, I mean, obviously, this year may not be what you kind of wanted, not playing and stuff like that. But, I mean, you still got 3 more years to, go hard and stuff. And, we have a lot of guys that, we have 5 guys that are leaving, seniors. So, that opened up room. But I think Jaheim's going to be great. I mean, he's just, touching the surface. And I know he's going to keep working because he wants it. So,
obviously a busy week for you guys now. You'll be out in Iowa this week with Drake and Northern Iowa back-to-back. Just, you guys preach all the time. You really love being around each other. You're going to be on the road for 2 really important games, starting with Drake early this week on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a grind. I mean, road wins are always tough. I think just spending time together in that hotel room, is going to keep us together. It always does. It's always good traveling with this team, but I think we're going to have more of a locked-in mindset because these are 2 big wins that we have to get in order, especially to get rolling into the tournament. You want to carry some momentum, so I think that's what we're trying to focus on.
Your room service bill, I know, is high up there this year, man. We've been on the road so much, Not to say that Davion that's a joke, by the way. We're not trying to say he's running up for the room bill. Man, you guys have been on the road a lot, and you guys do. You speak about how you love being around each other, and it shows. Davion, appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Davion.
Davion Sykes was our Marion Toyota player.